I'm going to record for someone and we shall get started. So hopefully our landscaping friends will not be too distracting. I was like, I pulled in and I was like, really? Yeah, that day was interesting. Yeah, it's actually Denise's. Yeah, her and Scott. So like there's a bigger one in the closet too that Scott uses and it's like this tall. Yeah, so like I guess you can like angle it, I guess, but I was like intimidated by that one. So I wasn't gonna use it. This one, it took me a while to even like, I didn't even know it was in here. And so, you know, I used to set my phone up on the chair all the time, right? And so like that isn't ideal either because it's like off to the side. And then one day, like Jackie was using it and I was like, why have I not used this thing yet? That's so much nicer because then it's just like there, right? Like I feel like then it's a little more incorporated into the space. So like I'm not like looking over all the time at people in their home. Yeah, so I am waiting for one more person in studio. Sometimes she's a little late, but not usually. So we'll see if she comes in. Oh, good. Either way. So no board again today for the last of this class until further notice. I know. So yeah, we'll see where it shows back up on the schedule in the fall. There's potential of moving it. I just saw Nancy's car. I think we're going to do it like as a pop-up a couple of times over the summer, like on a Wednesday night, because there's not anything in that time slot. So actually Laura and I were talking about it the other day. So like there is one pop-up already scheduled on a Wednesday night. I think it's like June 15th, and that Andy's teaching that one, the Yoga Strong. So Laura kind of wants to just pop in like a bunch of classes throughout the summer, potentially in that time slot. So this class might be one of them. We're thinking about bringing back like the full moon Floyd class. That's like one of my favorites to teach. And way back when, so we never got around to doing it. And so right now is Mercury retrograde, but it happens again in September. And I was like, wouldn't it? Because like, you know, I'm a nerd with themes. So I was like, we should do a Queen playlist during Mercury retrograde. Yeah. I'm like, I know Michaela's on my wavelength. Which is things that you're like, oh, that goes together so well. It's all good. So yeah, look for that kind of stuff. I think like a yin class will pop up. So there's some stuff that Laura wants to throw in just to, because you know, why not just throw some other stuff on the schedule. So cool. So we are going to start standing this morning with some jumping jacks. Yay. Only for 30 seconds. We'll come back to it a couple of times. So, and we'll jump into some other things to warm up and then also some other lunges and hand taps. Speaking of Queen, but no. So up to stand, getting ready to tap into that little bit of cardio to get the heart starting to move, right? 30 seconds jumping jacks. 3, 2, 1, go. Just want to make sure it's recording because I can't see anything on my phone. Zoom changed stuff. Everything's tinier now. Ooh, I like your pants, Nancy. I like your pants. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it to the top of your mat. Inhale, send the arms up high. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, arms circle back up high, tall mountain, and then to mountain pose, right? Just stretching it out a little bit. Inhale, exhale, fold, halfway lift, Fold again over the legs and then circle the arms up high, tall mountain. Exhale, back to mountain pose. One more time, just like that. Inhale, exhale, fold. Lift up halfway, fold, and then arms circle high, tall mountain. Walk it to the back of your mat. So we're gonna take 30 seconds of inchworms. What that looks like is a forward fold. You're just walking it out to a high plank, walking back to your forward fold, standing tall, right? Doesn't matter how many you do within that time frame. Getting ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walk it out, high plank, right? No push up there. Coming all the way back to stand, walking it out, pause in that high plank, draw the belly in, press the mat away. Halfway. Three, 2, 1, and pause wherever you're at. Coming back up to stand, we'll take those side stretches, so stepping it out, hinging it over in that same direction, and then you step back to the center. All right, so you switch sides. Again, you can go fast or slow here. Last one. And then take it down to your downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna get into the hips a little bit. So 1 foot steps forward, we find a little pulse to the top of the mat like lizard lunge, and then we're gonna switch out the feet. Step forward, pulse, pulse, step back, switch, step forward, pulse, pulse, right? Dropping that hip down, starting to find that little bit of stretch through the front of each hip, but still moving the body, right? So cardio still working, breath still moving. Last few. 2, 1, and then take it all the way into your high plank, feet to the back of the mat. We're gonna tap the shoulders, step the feet out a little bit wider so you keep the hips from rocking, and go. Tap opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Right, you can always be slower. Keep breathing, keep drawing the belly in. Right, try not to rock the hips too much. Let most of that movement come just from the upper body. Last few, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down to the mat. Once you're there, bend the knees, bring the thighs and hands up off of the mat, squeeze the glutes, lower back down, press it up, walk it back to a forward fold, come back up to stand. So just like we did already with those inchworms, now we're walking it out, lowering down and taking that little bit of almost like a locust pose feeling, but we're bending the knees when we lift up. Getting ready, 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Last 10 seconds here. Three, 2, and 1. Bring it back up to stand. We're gonna take that stretch again, but instead of to the side, we're gonna step forward. So opposite foot, opposite arm reaches, and then switch. Step forward. Again, finding a little bit of a stretch through the hip. So as you kind of let that back leg be extended, right? You're reaching up through the arm. I always lose which side and which arm I'm using, so that part really doesn't matter too much. Last few, 2, 1. Last little bit of our warm up is going to be that hop shuffle, right? So you're tapping down side to side, like a little bit of a squat, right? And go. Last little bit. 2, 1, rest. A little bit of everything for our warm up this morning. All right. Shifting gears just a little bit. We're gonna do some core work before we get into some squat work. So we're gonna roll right in from one exercise to the next, right? So I'll cue you as we go through. We're gonna start in a 30-second boat pose, right? Wherever your boat is taking you. From there, we're gonna take it right into a reverse tabletop pose for 30 seconds. We're gonna come back to boat, but this time it's gonna be low just for 10 seconds, and then 10 seconds in a reverse plank, right? So the feet are to the floor. If that's too much, you're coming back to that reverse tabletop pose. And then we're gonna come up to stand for 2 core exercises, rest, and then repeat it all again. So 30 seconds first, boat pose, decide how you're taking that, start to find that balance on the sits bones, and go. Almost there, last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse tabletop pose. Roll the shoulders back, up to you where the head sits. Press down, roll the shoulders back, draw the belly in. Almost there. Engage a little bit more through the glutes, last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, no boat hold, right? Hover just above the mat. You're only here for 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, reverse plank or back to that reverse table. And down. Coming up to stand, we're gonna take 30 seconds of our toe taps, right? So that's here, legs are long, you're crossing the arms over, and then we're gonna take that into standing bicycles, hands behind the head, opposite elbow to opposite knee, and go. Toe taps first, right? You're reaching out long. You're still getting a little bit of a twist in the upper body, right? Legs can be a little bit bent if it's too much on the hip flexor. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands behind the head, opposite elbow to opposite knee, right? Try not to let that elbow drop down and instead draw the knee up so you get a little bit more compression in the abdominals. Half breath. Last few. 2, 1. Rest just for a moment, and then we're going to do all of that again, starting with our boat pose. We're jumping all over the body today. At least it's not one thing specific. Sometimes we do like, a lot of squats, and then you're like, I can't do another leg thing. We will do some squats today. All good, right? Getting ready. 30-second boat pose and go. Almost there. 3, 2, 1, reverse table. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Take it to that low boat. It's only 10 seconds. 2, 1. Reverse plank or back to that reverse table. Again, just 10 seconds here. And release it down. Come back up to stand. We're going to take those toe taps again. And then those standing bicycles. 30 seconds for both. And go. Toe taps first. At least I'm not making you do it like this. I teach that a lot too, like the private clients I have on Tuesdays, and they're like here, and I'm like, it's much harder when you're down here. It's like half focus. I should maybe do that. Just kidding. Last few. 2, 1, and then those standing bicycles. Right? Think about drawing the knee up and in toward the chest. That gets that little bit of compression deeper into the abdominal muscles. Last few. 5, 4, 3, 2, and rest. So the next set of exercises is stuff we've done before. I'm just going to break it up in format. So this before would have shown up on the board and we would have done everything back to back, 10, 10, 10, 10. So we're not going to do that today. We're going to do it a little bit different. So we're going to do 10 squats, and then we're going to take 10 plank twists. It kind of looks like you're opening up to a side plank when you take those plank twists. So you want the heels to spin, but if that feels like awkward on your feet, you can keep them a little bit more centered, and you're opening out, right, to each side. So we used to take this a lot as a push-up side plank. We're doing the push-up part first, and then the side plank second, right? So 10 full, 10 squats. We are going to do push-ups, not with this. 10 squats, and then we'll come down to take those 10 plank twists. We're going to repeat that 2 times, and then we're going to do a different squat and a different thing on the arms, our Spider-Man. So that will pull in a little bit of our push-up from there. So working together, right? But if you want to move a little bit faster, you're welcome to do that. Turn the toes out a little bit, step out about as wide as your mat, and go weight into the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it down to your plank. Take the feet out just a little bit wider. Remember, you can rotate on the toes or not. Keep the hips down in line with the shoulders, and go. Open out to one side. Doesn't matter. 1, other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back up to stand. We're going to take the squats again, taking your feet out wide. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Take it back to that plank. You can always drop to forearms if it's too much on the wrists. Same thing, hips down in line with the shoulders, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can always go slower than me too. 9 and 10. I know. All right, so now we're going to take our squats again, but our stance is going to be shorter. So it's our goblet squats. We have to sit back a little bit more in the hips. Feet are just a little bit wider than hip distance apart, right? So you're working on sitting back further so the knees kind of stay back toward the ankles. So you're not going this way, right? We're going this way. 10 of those, and then 10 Spider-Man. So what Spider-Man looks like is you're drawing a knee toward an arm, taking a little bit of a push-up, right? So you're high plank and picking up a leg, bringing it forward, bending into the elbows, pressing back to plank. Opposite leg, right? Doesn't matter how far you bend into the elbows for that push-up. Getting ready for that goblet squat first, right? So feet are much closer together, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Take it down to that plank. You can always come to forearms again, right? You'll just have a little less space to move the legs. You count your 10, 5 with each leg, and go. Right, you could always do all 5 on one leg instead of switching. Play with how that feels. Elbows don't have to bend very far. Ah, yes. 10 total of those. And then we'll come back to our, yes, 10 total. No, that's why I was like, there's no way you're still going. Michaela wanted to do a few extras this morning. All good. Goblet squats again, finding that shorter stance. Last round of these, right? 10, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 more Spider-Mans. If you already did all your 20, you can rest. Awesome. Take a moment to circle out those wrists. Whew. We have one more round of squats and something on our wrists. We're only going to take one round of it this time. So 10 curtsy squats, 5 on each side, right? So we're kind of crossing behind, finding that little bit of a dip down. You can always keep the feet crossed if you can stand back up and you kind of have that mobility to kind of stay there with the feet crossed behind you. Or when you come up, you can like tap out and then go back down. That's usually what I end up doing just because it feels a little more fluid to kind of move that way, but up to you how that works. And then 5 on the other side, and then 10 plank jacks, right? So you're here and you're either dropping or jumping both feet out and back, or you're tapping one toe at a time. Even if you're taking the toe tap, it's still 10 total, right? So it would be 5 to each side of the toe tap, or 10 total of jumping out. Just one round of both of them, 10 and 10. Then we come back to some core work, curtsy squats, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch sides, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 plank jacks, right? Hips down, in line with the shoulders. We're not up here, right? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest. So we're going to come down on our backs for the next set. Woo, off the wrist for a little bit. switching gears. Borrowing from our Pilates a little bit, right? With our 20 single leg stretch. So that's here into the 10 double leg stretch. So it kind of looks like that rowboat hold again, but you're moving the arms and legs out. From there, we're going to take a 30-second dead bug hold, right? So that's here. We're pressing into the thighs, shoulder blades lifted up off of the mat, back drawing down to the floor, getting ready for those 20 single leg stretches, right? So hug one knee in, extend one leg long, shoulder blades lifted up off of the mat, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right into that double. So out long and in is 1, out, in 2, out, in 3, out, 4, out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Set yourself up for that dead bug hold. We're coming right into it. Hands pressed into the thighs, thighs into the hands, shoulder blades lifted. Go. I already started the timer if you didn't go, because most of you did. Halfway. Last stop. 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. And then doing that one more time, but opposite order. So we're going to start with our dead bug hold first, into the 10 double leg, finishing with the 20 single leg. Set yourself up for what that dead bug hold looks like. Shoulder blades lifted, low back to the floor, and go. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 of the double leg. Extend out, in, 1, out, in, 2, out, 3, out, 4, out, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, single go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Whoo. Core is on fire. All right, now we're really gonna do some push-ups. I was gonna make it burpees because I did put that out there on Facebook, but I don't feel like doing burpees. Burpees is like my least favorite exercise to do. I go to Orange Theory, right? And this one coach is always like, it's America's exercise. And I'm like, no, that's not a thing. I hate burpees. So instead of burpees, we're going to take 5 push-ups, right? So we're going to take our push-ups. You're going to count your rounds for this. I'm just going to keep track of time. Your push-ups can be knees up or knees down, right? Your range of motion can be where you need it to be to kind of keep everything in one long line. So 5 push-ups, and then you're going to come up to stand and take 5 squats, right? So kind of back to the squats a little bit. 5 push-ups, 5 squats. We're going to do it for time, not a whole lot of time, 2 minutes. So don't think you have to like bang out a million of each thing in those 2 minutes. You can take it much slower, especially to pay attention to form a little bit more, right? So getting ready to set up for your push-ups first. So 5 push-ups, 5 squats, repeating for time, and go. slow it down anytime you need to. Take a pause anytime you need to. Almost there. Last few, you got this. Five, 4, 3, 2, and rest. Wherever you're at, lower all the way down to the mat. Take it out to that little bit of crocodile pose. So the feet turn out wide, stack the forearms, rest the head. If you need to circle out the wrists, you can always do that while you're here. Bring the feet together, take one arm out to a T, doesn't matter which side you go to first. We're just gonna stretch that shoulder out a little bit. So the arm that's out is the side you're rolling to. You're gonna bend the opposite knee and roll over toward it. And then come back to the center, switch sides. Right, that arm is straight out from the shoulder, palm faces down. And bring it back to the center, press it up into a cobra or upward facing dog, just to stretch out. And then lift it up to downward facing dog. Once you're there, you can pedal out the heels a little bit, take a little bit of hip openers, ankle circles, whatever you like to do in your down dog, just to kind of give the body that little bit of rest, little bit of stretch. Still moving. Last few rounds of exercise. So making those or tapping into reset, tapping into some smaller muscles, right? So you can drop down to knees or however you want to kind of be for a moment. Reset. Okay. So again, smaller muscle groups, right? We're going to take calf raises. So we're here for 10. Lifting up onto the balls of the feet, trying not to let like the ankles roll out, right? So you're lifting forward. From there, we're coming back down to like that reverse tabletop position to tap into some triceps. So it's kind of similar movement. We're just shifting from calves to arms, right? So it's just a little bend into the elbows, hips kind of move along with you, right? So you're not here and the elbows stay straight. It's a little bend into the elbows. 10 of those, and then we'll do 10 calf raises again, 10 triceps, dips, and then we'll finish with our core work finisher because we didn't do enough of that already. Sure. Just then you can go eat at barbecues on Monday or drink or whatever you do, right? So anyway, up to stand first, setting up for our calf raises. So right, toes are facing forward like 11s. You can always adjust if you'd rather turn the toes out, but you're still kind of allowing the ankles to go over the toes and not roll out, right? Squeezing the glutes at the top so everything down the back of that chain of the legs is working as we take this and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down to the mat, find that reverse tabletop-like position. Hands behind, you can turn the fingertips any way that feels best for you, but just be mindful of how the elbows are bending if you turn in a different direction. And go 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coming back up to stand, 10 more calf raises, and then 10 more tricep dips. Same thing, right? You can always turn the feet out if you'd rather take it that way. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to that reverse table, tapping into those triceps. And go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. All right, so finish your core, right? We're gonna go for time back-to-back rounds, no rest in between, kind of like we did in the beginning. So single leg V up or sprinter sit up is sometimes what it's called. So you're here, you're lifting up, reaching for the opposite foot and lowering back down, switching sides, right? So you can go really fast in between, right? And kind of momentum takes over, or you can slow it down. Find that little pause at the top, right? Because then you're working a little bit harder when momentum is out of it. That for 30 seconds into a 30-second crunch hold, right? So knees are bent, shoulder blades lifted up off of the mat, elbows out wide, holding it here. Then we're gonna come back, right, to those springer sit-ups, back to the crunch. 3 rounds total of all of that. So last 3 minutes of work, and then we rest. Ready? Sure you are. And go, sprinter sit up first, right? 30 seconds. If you need to take it down a notch, right, you can always keep the shoulder blades lower to the mat and reach up to lift a foot instead of lifting the whole torso up. But see where you can go with it. 3, 2, 1, crunch hold. Tuck that chin in, knees bent, hands behind the head, back to the floor. Three, 2, 1, right back to those sprinter sit-ups. Getting ready to come back to that crunch, hold, and go. Three, 2, 1. Last set of those sprinter sit-ups. You got this. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Back to that crunch hold. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Drop it down, drop the knees over to one side. And then take the knees over to the opposite side. Come back to the center, take a big stretch out in opposite directions. And then we'll stay kind of where we're at, but take the ankles over to the left side of the mat, cross the right ankle over top, grab hold of the right wrist and take a little side bend to the left. That was not my favorite of the remixes, I have to say. I figured I'd try another one. And then take it to the other side, crossing the left ankle on top this time. Releasing that out, coming up to an easy seat, however you would like to get there. Once you are there, just a little bit to one side. And then twisting the other way. Coming back to the center. Take one arm up behind the head, take that little bit of a tricep stretch. Grabbing the elbow. Releasing, switching. Releasing, finding a little bit of an eagle wrap, right? So it doesn't matter which arm is on top, but you're just finding a little bit of a stretch around the shoulders forward. And then adding a little bit to that stretch. Inhale, lift up a little bit higher. And then exhale, round a little bit forward. Coming back up, releasing, switching which arm was on the bottom. And then same thing, right? Be here first, round the shoulders a little bit forward, and then inhale, lift up a little bit higher, and exhale, round a little bit forward. Releasing out of that, drop a knee or to a shoulder. You can always add the extra effort of the hand up. And then switching sides. Last stretch, right? Come back to the center, tuck the chin in a little bit toward the chest, right? You're still lengthening up through the spine. And then if you like, I like to add in a little bit of extra stretch here by taking the hands behind, interlacing the fingers, right? So as I'm tucking the chin, I'm kind of lifting up through the traps and down through the hands. And slowly releasing any last stretch, place you need to be, feel free. Otherwise, that is a wrap on HIIT for now.
Thanks for a great class.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good weekend.
Did you say that the YouTube channel is on the website?
I don't know if there's a link on the website. I'll send it out to you guys. It's hard to find because if you're on YouTube and kind of looking for fitness yoga, there's a lot that comes up. And I know when I tried to find it the one time, it took me a while to come across it. I have it open on my phone. I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Have a good summer. If I don't-
Thank you. You too.
Bye.